How to go out of business owning a failed junk removal service. This is my favorite over all of them. And that is the PPP loan, the Paycheck Protection Program loan, and the EIDL loan were introduced to provide financial relief to businesses hurt by the COVID pandemic. These loans, while these loans were intended to help businesses, including junk removal businesses, to stay afloat, there are situations where people mismanage these loans and could potentially lead to bankruptcy or closure within the industry. Here are some ways that this might have happened. A misallocation of funds. The common issue that led to financial trouble is the misallocation of these funds by the PPP and the EIDL loans. If these funds were not used as intended, covering payroll costs and other eligible expenses, it can lead to financial imbalances or in the inability to meet low repayment obligations. So in other words, you spent your government funds to buy maybe a Corvette or trucks and trailers that you never needed because you didn't ever have the business. The overextension of debt, number 2. What I mean is you already had debt running the junk removal service, and then you took on more debt. You took on the PPP loan, and you took over the EIDL loan. You took in more debt. The overextension can lead to heavy debt burden. Where loan payments were becoming overwhelming, imagine that now it's going to be exceeding, and it's going to be ongoing, and it's going to hurt your operational expenses overall, okay? Inaccurate revenue projections, number 3. Businesses that often had to project the revenue to secure these loans lied. They actually lied just to get these loans. And overall, the government will eventually find out what you did and catch up to you. Doing this is fraud. A lot of these junk removal services that got these loans lied to the government to sustain inaccurate loans. Okay? Number 5, the lack of sustainable planning, business planning. Okay, so I want to tell you this. You never did any research. You didn't give a F. What happened is you started implementing these unsustainable business practices and these strategies for long-term recovery. Once the loans were given, you never had a solid business plan. This could lead to your business actually going bankrupt, okay? Number 6, this is the best one. You went and got the PPL loan and the EIDL loan during the pandemic, and you were overwhelmed with the money you got. Why? You had never seen that much money in your life. There were so many fixed costs in your life already that you brought in more fixed cost, more expenses. And now you're paying your personal expenses and your business expenses. Guess what's going to happen? You got to pay that money back. And this leads to number 7, which is the failure to adapt. If a junk removal service doesn't adapt to its operations and the changing market or the conditions and the shifting customer demands, it could struggle to generate any kind of revenue and cover even the loan payments, potentially leading to bankruptcy. Okay? And here's one that everybody overlooked. Number 8, market volatility. The junk removal service is like any other business. It's subject to fluctuations. If the industry experienced a significant decline due to economic conditions or other factors, businesses relying on this PPP and the EIDL loans might find themselves unable to recover. And here's the last and final one, which is my favorite overall. In conclusion, to avoid bankruptcy and closure, many junk removal business owners were already in trouble before the loans came out. When the government issued these loans during the pandemic, most of these business owners could not adapt to the amount of money that they were given. They had no solid business plan. They could never run any kind of business. They had no idea because they had never seen the money. Their inability to adapt to an increase, an inflow of cash. See, guys, if you're poor, you'll always stay poor. But if you are poor and you get money, what do? You spend money because you did not adapt to the money. And this is what a lot of junk removal services did. They saw $330,000, and guess what they did? They spent $330,000, but not on their business. They used it on personal expenses. Because, see, one thing is true in junk removal, in any kind of business actually, is when you're bad with money, you're always going to be bad with money. And that's how you can go out of business. So if you want your business to fail and you got these loans, well, I'm pretty sure you're doing bad with them. Thanks, guys.